Sup everyone, Alpha here, and I'm just a little bit frustrated right now, so bear with me a little bit. This is going to be a slightly different tone of video than what I'm usually used to making. And the reason for that is because I just got back from the grocery store and was almost immediately, as I was leaving, assaulted and harassed. And I'm just... Okay, let's start at the beginning. First of all, this is the second time I've been assaulted and harassed, like, in my life. And I feel very fortunate about that, because as a Puerto Rican, as someone who was born and raised in America, but as someone who has the possibility of having racist comments thrown at me. I know I don't look it all that much. That's mostly because ever since the first time, I've kind of become a hermit and I don't like going out and doing things. And so my skin pigmentation has lightened up because I'm not in the sun as much. But I am half Puerto Rican. My father is a full-blooded Puerto Rican. And I have encountered a few, like, racist individuals in my life. But I've only ever actually been, like, assaulted, actual physical assault, a couple of times, including this time, so 2 total. And basically what happened was I was leaving the grocery store. I needed some eggs and some ice cream, and I just, I walked over to the store that was closer to me rather than going to my work. And I feel like that was potentially a mistake, because if I was at my work, it's a smaller location and I have friends there, so they would have probably been able to help me out. But regardless, I was coming out of the grocery store and I was just walking, really. And this person comes up to me, and I've got my earbuds in, so I can't hear him initially. But he's apparently yelling at me. I don't know who this person is. I didn't say anything to him. I legit didn't do anything. I was wearing a rainbow mask, and he was starting to, apparently, to yell at me because of the fact that apparently he thought I was gay. And he started calling me all sorts of various insensitive things. And when I took the mask off, which potentially was a mistake, he started yelling at me because of my skin color, which, like I said, you can't really tell right now because thanks to the pandemic and just my desire to be antisocial most of the time, I don't go and go out and do much anymore, so my skin tone has lightened up quite a bit. But because of how hot this summer is, and because I have been, as the pandemic has lifted, been getting a little restless and going out and doing more, it has darkened up a little bit. I'm definitely not as as white as I once looked. You can't really tell here because of the LED light that I have in my my room, but my skin tone is a little bit darker than it used to be. But regardless, yeah, he basically was saying that he wanted to know what I was doing here, is how he started it. He came at me and was like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, I was just walking. And of course, at this point, I thought he was like, mentally unstable, because I have had individuals, like, I wouldn't say mistaken identity, but they have believed that I am someone or something that I am not in the past, and it's mostly been because of some sort of, like, mental condition. But yeah, he continues to approach me. He's like, I don't know, 5 feet at this point, and that's when he's like, you should have been deported. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And I try not to get political in my YouTube comments. Anyone who knows my Twitter knows that I usually try to keep my political stuff over there because I don't want to add that kind of negativity and toxicity onto my channel. But unfortunately, if I'm going to talk about this, I can't avoid it. So basically, he was yelling at me because of the fact that he assumed I was Mexican. He assumed that Trump was going to deport me. He was upset that that his wish was not granted. For those who don't know, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It may as well be a state. It is a state in almost every single way, except for like actual legitimacy. So right off the bat, he's already wrong. And I tried to explain that to him in a calm manner. And as he got within like the 2-foot range, that's when he spat on me. Which, of course, pissed me off. And then he shoved me. And then he tried to fight me. And at that point, I disengaged. He took a swing at me, and I just backed off before, he clearly wasn't a fighter. I'm not a fighter either, but I know how to avoid a fight. I know how not to take a punch. I've been in a few scraps. I'm not proud of it, but I have. And fortunately, I was able to get out of there this time without being injured, because the last time someone assaulted me because they thought I was Mexican, and they claimed it was, they were under Trump's orders to do so. It was the day after Trump got elected in 2016, or after he won the election, and I was assaulted on the mass transit system and wound up with 2 bruised ribs and a nice little knuckle imprint on my side. So I'm glad that I walked away unscathed this time. But I just gotta say, like, I wish I had the foresight to pull out my phone. I wish I'd had the foresight to have tried to record or even taken the guy's picture, so that way I could have like filed a police report or something like that. I'm lucky this time because the guy, instead of trying to come after me, just kind of like started yelling at me from a distance as I backed away, and I managed to get across the street before he decided to, try and approach me again. But it's like, if I had had my computer up and running right now, I probably would never have left my house today, and I wouldn't be making this video. But I'm just like really frustrated, and I'm really trying to wrap my head around things. And I figured, if I'm going to talk about things, I'm going to have to like be 100% honest about them when it comes to this sort of stuff. I already have anxiety about wanting to talk about some of the nerdy stuff that I want to do, and make the content that I want to make. But I'm just like, I've got to get over that. And now I have to also like realize, if I'm going to talk about like incidents that happen, they don't happen very often, but if I'm going to mention things that happen in my real life, I'm going to have to get over the idea that like I can't censor myself when it comes to the topic. I'm obviously going to try and censor myself when it comes to the language, but yeah, so this was clearly like politically motivated, considering that he specifically said basically it was. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm burnt out. But yeah, so I don't know. I felt the need to talk about this. Other people do that. Other people make videos and do their best to try and, discuss what's going on in their lives. So I figured I'd try and do that this time as well, see how comfortable I was. It wasn't that hard, actually. So maybe if anything like this happens in the future, perhaps I will discuss it on here as well. But, I've always attempted to be as completely, open with you guys as possible. So if something happens in my life, I want to make sure that you guys are appraised of it. And this just happened, like not even, what is this? I'm going on 10 minutes on this recording. This happened about 20 minutes ago. So I'm still just coming down. I'm trying to relax. I'm just frustrated. But yeah, that's all I got. So my PC's still in the shop. Still can't do anything. So reactions are still on hold. In any time or in any way, I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm flustered. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go. I'm going to shut up. Thank you for listening to this. This is Archive of 12, and I will see you in the next video.